By all accounts, this debate was thought to be crucial for the president and his chances for getting reelected, especially after the first debate 2 weeks ago when the president looked, let's say, less competitive than Governor Romney. This time around, he was on the offensive, which got the media and his supporters very excited. According to television audience polls, the president came out as the winner in this debate. They kept arguing whose tax plan is going to add more to the country's gigantic debt, who will be better at competing with China and the rest of the world in terms of economic growth, and there was very little on foreign policy. There was one more debate coming up before the election, that one specifically on foreign policy. But there was one question about Libya and the murder of the American ambassador there, and the president did come up with a macho-style punchline to that. He said this.
We are going to find out who did this, and we're going to hunt them down. Because one of the things that I've said throughout my presidency is when folks mess with Americans, we go after them.
But again, these debates are not about in-depth discussions. They're more about who's going to deliver a better punchline, who will provide for a better show, essentially. In a sense, the news cycle here, focused entirely around the debates, has been like one big reality TV show with all these never-ending discussions on the body language of the candidates. All the channels do that. They invite experts to analyze the candidate's smile, their body posture as they stand up or they sit down during the debate. They, of course, have this cardiogram with the viewers' reaction to what they're saying. So there is a very skillful buildup of excitement here, which makes for great reality TV, but it's a big question whether Americans really have a choice. Something that has gone completely unnoticed, uncovered by the mainstream media here, by this non-stop reality TV, was the arrest of a presidential candidate in this election, Jill Stein, nominee from the Green Party. She was arrested shortly before the debate, right outside the town hall where this debate was being held. She and her running mate were protesting their exclusion from these presidential debates. They were asked to leave, they refused to do so, and they were arrested for blocking the traffic. The fact that there are other candidates in this presidential election outside these two parties, very few Americans know anything about. That is because, as Jill Stein told me when we sat down for an interview a few months ago, they're being pushed out of the debates by those who are interested in keeping it a two-horse race. She was referring to special interests. Take a listen.
What they really have is the support of the 1%, and then they have a propaganda campaign going on and intensive public relations and psychological warfare that's intended to convince people that they don't have any options. The American system is designed to eliminate political opposition, like some of the dictatorships that we criticize that have rigged political systems. In many ways, the American system is also rigged, but in ways that are not as straightforward.
Jill Stein will be on ballots, although not in all states. She was also telling me how hard it is for an independent candidate to get on those ballots in the U.S., that every state has its own intricate rules, essentially designed to keep it a two-party race. As far as these big televised presidential debates, they're organized by the Democratic and Republican parties through the Commission on Presidential Debates. So there's not much enthusiasm on part of that commission to let a third party in. But you would think the media, that's somewhere between discussing the body language of the candidates, the chemistry on stage, the dresses of the wives, that somewhere between all those things they would mention the arrest of a presidential candidate. But no, it's
Turn to MSNBC and the experts.
U.S. officials tell CNN. Bush official says that analysts say.
Pentagon officials tell us.
According to U.S. intelligence.
U.S. officials say. U.S. officials say that. U.S. officials here say. These officials here at the White House tell us.
Trust me. Trust me.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk about it.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret. There are all kinds of secrets, Tim.
The very word secrecy is repugnant, for we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy.
I have two words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
It is the first thing I will do. I will get our troops home. We will bring an end to this war. You can take that to the bank.
Just send your cash.
Al-Qaeda, terrorism, vicious
evil act.
It's the third time I've said that. I'll probably say it 3 more times. See, in my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in, to kind of catapult the propaganda.